Oh, you still got that open?
I put a new one on like after it
Oh,
pulled
okay.
back, but not late enough. So yeah, I got back in at like 238 after it
Oh,
pulled
wow.
back, like 30 something points, and that was still way too soon. Yeah, I'm getting wrecked in that. So, and then I put on Friday before the close, I put on a call play, gambling on a gap up Monday, and I'm like, I'm selling the gap, whatever it is, I get. I'm like, unless this thing goes green right away, and it went sideways the first like 15 minutes, and then started going down a little bit, and so I booked my profit, and then obviously, you know, ended up going up the rest of the day, which sucks, but it is what it is. So. I didn't even look to see what those calls would have been worth now because I got in at like 183 and the stock's at 192 right now. So, oh well, just trying to mitigate some of the red on the covered call.
Yeah.
I'm in
That's what
bad
you got to
shape too.
do. Mitigate the damage.
Yeah. Well, and what's bad is my leap strike price is 235. So I'm underwater now. So it's hard to sell calls against it because I don't want to sell calls, well below my strike, but there's no money there up at 235. I'm looking at like 220 to at least get a little something on the weekly, and that's a week and a half
Yeah.
out because the weekly I have now is worth nothing. I got my money on that at least. But oh yeah, I gotta find the threadcast. Task is probably already in there responding to my Tesla comments.
All of the streaming platforms.
Oh.
Bless you.
Thank you. I don't even at this point, I don't even know what to mute for that now. I guess when I go to my laptop, yeah, that's right. Go to the
I
tab and
mean,
hit mute site. That would at least mute it for the listeners. So I'm just sneezing in your ear only.
uh, ooh, I'm having all of the issues. Yeah, last week we couldn't even do it because I had so many issues. I mean, I think at least the streams are up now. But
Yeah. Yeah, last week your whole setup was screwed.
yeah, it's it's been rough. I'm about to get a computer upgrade though, so at least I'll
Nice.
have that.
I need one. That's funny. It seems to be going around. Walter just got a new computer, a little beefed
Oh
up
yeah.
Alienware.
Oh nice. Well, I'm a Mac guy, so I'm gonna be getting that new Mac Studio.
Nice.
I think we're good. I think we're good.
Oh man, what
I'm
time is
like,
it?
I'm like, don't touch anything, don't move anything, so
Yeah,
it doesn't
right. It's
break.
good.
All right. Welcome everybody. Got some people in here. We didn't really put out a ton of announcements. I mean, I know I was in Discord yesterday, kind of talking to a bunch of different people and answering questions, and then I told them all to hold the rest of their questions for the AMA. So that was kind of the only major public announcement that we were going to be live this week because we haven't been live the last couple of weeks. Um, but yeah, we're here.
Nope, we have not. But I got a feeling 2024 is gonna be a little more sporadic than prior years.
2024 is a busy year already.
Just
Very
yeah,
busy.
I mean, my next couple of months are insane. I got a feeling there'll
Yeah.
be a Tuesday here or there that I'm not at my
Nifty
desk.
said, Nifty said, yo, yo, when RTFD? Yeah, yesterday I was just RTFD left and right. Um, I put out a thread and I've realized that if you really want to piss people off, give away free money. It's the easiest way to piss people off.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Explain.
it's so with Leo ads, the first distribute. We've been talking about Leo ads for and Taskmaster will know
Forever.
the exact date. For 2 years, we've been talking
Yeah,
about Leo ads and my plans for it and the contracts and all the work that's gone into it.
so the
So the
details
details our secret. I mean, there's certain details that obviously got finalized towards the end, that weren't talked about, like minimum requirements for views and stuff like that. But the vast majority of details were talked about for literally 2 years. And then I put up a blog post on at Leo Finance that talked about all the extra details that you needed to know. And that coincided with the first distribution of LeoAds. So I think it was on January 18th, the first distribution for LeoAds went out. And after that, since then, there's just been a constant stream of ridiculous, some of them are good questions, some of them are ridiculous, asking about LeoAds. And I would say 90% of the questions could be answered by reading the blog post. So that's why I would just be like RTFD. And
You want me to read, bro? That sounds like work.
yeah, I mean,
sounds like work.
well, if you got questions, at least read the bare minimum of the material before you ask. Yeah, Ahmad Manga said, wait, people are pissed at LeoAds. Yeah, I mean, people are pissed that they either got less money than they expected, or they're pissed that they don't understand the rules fully, even though if they read the blog post, they would understand the rules. So it's just it's a nightmare. And what I realized is that you give away money. It's kind of I was thinking about it. Like I was like, if you were on the street, just imagine you were on the street and you said, I'm going to give $100 to 5 people. You'd get a bunch of people lined up to try to get that $100, right? And then after you pick the 5 people, let's say there's 100 people standing there, the other 95 people are going to start bitching and moaning at you. So I've learned that the easiest way to get people mad at you is just to give away free money. That is what I've taken away from this. So, and then people are asking all sorts of nuanced questions, which is fine, but that stuff should be reserved for the AMA. And a lot of the people that ask those questions don't come to the AMAs. So I'm like, well, if you guys, after I was responding to them for probably about an hour in Discord general, you could scroll up to yesterday if you guys want to read some hilarious back and forth.
That's like back in, when we were in the last crypto bull market, and like, I was like teaching newbies crypto. I was doing like, crypto, what the hell, whatever, like a crypto seminar and shit. And like people would blow me up on Facebook Messenger, like people like I know but don't know, people I went to high school with, people I've met once, whatever. But your friends are like so many people on Facebook that are basically just acquaintances. And it's like they're asking me questions, and I literally do a free call at this time every week, and I answer all these questions. Here's the link, please join it. And they would never show up. Or they're like, oh, I don't have time for that. I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? Like, what am I, your slave?
Yeah.
No, like, I'm like, and it's like, and it'd be one thing if I was charging for it. Like, it literally was like a free Zoom call I was doing.
It's insane. Yeah. I mean, the way that people think that, they get your one-on-one attention, but then when you offer them a format to get one-on-one attention, but like publicly, they don't want to show up for it at a specific time. They want it on, I think the thing is they want it on their own time.
Yeah. Everyone thinks it's fucking they want it that way.
Yeah. Well, and what I told people is that, I don't mind helping people and answering questions, but if you at least do it in the AMA format, like right now, then there's other people here that might have the same questions. I feel like I'm like a third grade teacher. Like there's other people that might have the same questions. So let's ask in front of everybody, because then I don't have to repeat myself. I could just say it once.
Hold on. So we have to pause for something that actually is badass. And it's related to what we're talking about because it is LeoAds. So I am working with Walter, a couple other guys, on a potential acquisition of a property in a specific city in Mississippi. And I am on INLEO right now, and an ad just came up for apartments in the exact town that we're looking at, which makes sense because I did go on Zillow last night for this town looking at, and I don't even know what this website is, Apartment Home Living, never even heard of it. But you know what? They got listings, which is great because I can use this for comps. That is awesome. So like LeoAds, and as much as, whatever, Google AdSense, pros and cons, it is good at stalking and targeting. So, and I generally click on ads that have any remote interest just to, help. But this is like I'm clicking on this no matter what. Like no matter where I am,
Yeah.
I was clicking on this. So
Yeah. Well, ad revenue's been with AdSense, it's been really interesting. Over time, as they gain more like confidence and we have more clicks, I can tell that the ad revenue is getting a lot more consistent and better. Um, so, and also the relevance of ads has been getting better. So, INLEO doesn't actually track any of your information, but Google already tracks you. So if they've already got information on you, then you'll see relevant ads based on the information they have about you. But INLEO isn't actually passing any information to them. So like, if that makes sense, like they're not getting new information from us, but they're using the information that they have already about you in order to show the ads on INLEO. So it's kind of an interesting setup that because I basically just went in and like it lets you tick boxes of what to track your users on, and I just unticked all the boxes. So we don't give them any data um, that they don't already have. So um, it's definitely a good. I like AdSense in the interim until we get our own ad platform live. I mean, direct ad sales is always going to be superior. Um, and, obviously I think we need more users. We need more traffic in general. And then, me and Eric are already looking out for companies to kind of create our own little like book of companies that we can go to regularly so that we always have ad space sold. And then over time, we'll just keep adding more and more basically customers to that list. And then, the goal is that over time, then we can just raise prices as the impressions and traffic increase. But direct ad sales will be like it'll be a moment where we kind of switch over from AdSense to direct ad sales, and you'll see the ad revenue really take off because there's no middleman, and I think the ads will be a lot more relevant. They'll be very like crypto related stuff like that. And yeah, Taskmaster said we need more page views. Every page view helps. Yeah, you definitely need more page views in general and more users to generate them. Our traffic's actually been growing. If you go to the simple analytics, you can see there's been kind of a nice uptrend in traffic recently. And Eric was telling me that the monthly active users have been increasing as well. So we're pushing towards 2,000 monthly active users right now, up from like 1,650. So yeah, we've seen some nice growth lately. And then I've mentioned a few times that the focus of the team right now is getting to 1,000 premium subscribers. So we're at 150 when we were at made that announcement to the team about 2 weeks ago. Now we're at 200 premiums, and like I said, the goal is to get to 1,000. We made a bunch of changes to the way that Leo.voter curates to help with that. And we've got some more changes on the way, along with the new dashboard page that's coming with an advanced view for premiums. So a lot of new features, a lot of updates to curation, and then just a general focus on getting to 1,000 premiums. And Taskmaster wrote a nice post about network effects and flywheels. But that's essentially what we're trying to get kickstarted here is the flywheel for premium, which I've kind of marked off a number at 1,000 premiums because that would be $10,000, 10,000 HBD per month in revenue. And 5,000 of that buys Leo off the market, 5,000 buys Hive, and then they get pooled together for permanent. That flywheel effect over time will have a really positive impact on the Leo price. So, yeah, I'm just pushing the team. I'm pushing the devs. I'm pushing Eric and other members of the team to just really focus on premium every single day. Like literally wake up, message everybody, what have you done today to get another premium subscriber? And that's kind of where we're at right now. And then, the target date for that is the end of Q1, which is March 31st. So, and there's a lot of positive effects that come along with the premium. So like when you are premium, and you guys probably have noticed this because most of you in the Threadcast right now are premium. When you're premium, you have more, like you think about using the UI more. At least that's how it works for me. Like you're like, oh, I'm premium. Like I got to make the most out of it. So let me make sure I'm making blog posts and upvoting and commenting and making threads. Like you feel more incentive to be around and active. So if you also think about it that way, there's like these knock-on effects that come from having more premium subscribers. Just in general for the UI. So more premiums equals more activity, more engagement, more revenue. So it's just it's good all around, in my opinion.
Indeed. It's funny. People are talking about like ad revenue payouts and whatnot, and obviously, I saw the initial payouts. I received a payout. I couldn't complain if I wanted to because I have no idea how I'm supposed to calculate it or should, and I'm like, don't really even have any interest. I'm like, sweet, I saw some ad revenue came through. Awesome. I'm not gonna, I don't have the time to dig into if I'm getting the correct amount. I'll just trust the devs are doing their job correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying I wish Addicted actually showed up. Look at that.
Now it's a part. That's because he was ribbing me in DM.
There you go.
I brought him to life.
Yeah, we and that's what I wish people would focus on more of the, okay, how do we like work hard to increase ad revenue, as opposed to, this is why I was getting kind of, I wasn't like pissed off, but I was definitely a little, Addicted said I was a little tilted. Like I'm just tired of answering the same questions 100 times, when people could ask them in the AMAs and we could answer them once, or they could read the blog post and not even have to ask the question. So I'd rather people focus on how do we increase the size of the pie rather than how do I, because most of the questions essentially revolve around how do I make sure that I get my slice of the pie and do the bare minimum work required in order to get that slice. That is the majority of questions that I see related to Leo ads. It's like, okay, well, how many comments do I have to make in order to get a Leo ads distribution? And it's like, well, it's purposefully ambiguous. I can't speak, because we don't want you to say, okay, well, I'll just make 3 comments each month and then I'll get my payout. It's all about gaming the system as opposed to actually just being active, doing good things for the platform, and then as a side benefit, getting paid from the reward pool, which is how it should be. There's a reason why certain platforms have succeeded. And it's just, you know, do positive things for the platform, and then the platform will do positive things for you. And Nifty actually said that in a great way, on the last 2 podcasts he showed up on, for Leo, and it was ask not what the platform can do for you, but what you can do for the platform. So it's, if you do positive things for the platform will succeed, and you as a byproduct will succeed as well. But if you just sit back and try to do the bare minimum, then you should expect to get what you give.
Yep, grow the pie.
Grow the
Grow
pie.
all
That
the
is
pie
my
bigger.
motto.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
Tess said, how do I find her G spot? That is really what people are asking. It's like they just want the cheat code. Nobody wants to do anything.
they want the easy button. Where's the easy button? I don't even, maybe I should be looking for the easy button. I have no, like I said, I'm just doing what I normally do to help grow the pie because I just don't even have the bandwidth to get into the minutia of the mechanics. So like,
Yeah.
I'm not, I have no idea what I should be doing better or should be doing in terms of ads. I'm pretty sure I was already doing the things that need to be done to cover those based on just like a high level, overview. Um, same thing, even with curation. It's just like I just do what I do. But again, this is one of many things I'm doing. So I guess maybe for someone that is trying to live or die by INLEO, then they'll have a different perspective. But hopefully part of that is growing the overall community and environment and not just basically using it as a tool to extract value.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
And
it's fine if that is part of it, but as long as that's
right.
not the only thing, because that's not beneficial in the long run. All it is an anchor on
Yeah. And
the
I
ship.
And I think that's been a big problem on Hive for a really long time,
Oh
is
yeah.
that there hasn't been a good incentive loop to do positive things for the platform. Like on Hive, just taking blog posts as an example is one piece of it. Your incentive is that there's a 7 day payout window. So your incentive is, how do I get people to upvote me as much as possible in those 7 days? And after the 7 days, you no longer really give a shit. Um, it's kind of like, these short form platforms like TikTok, like everything has like a really short shelf life. And after that is over, there's no purpose to it anymore. Um, Even though one of the amazing ways to grow Hive is to have really high quality evergreen content that brings in users over time. Because if you have good blog posts that are, SEO friendly and show up on search results, that's how I think a lot of us probably found, Steam and Hive today, is through, a random, we searched something random in crypto, landed on like a steemit.com post, and then we were like, oh, what's this platform? Like, this guy's earning money, and then signed up to try it out. And then we stuck around. I know that's how I ended up on this platform. Um, so there's a disconnect in the incentives there, because the users and the creators are incentivized to create things that only matter for 7 days, but the platform itself benefits from things that live beyond 7 days and actually garner activity and attention over long periods of time. And that's
Yeah.
why that's why the evergreen rewards protocol has been something I've talked about for so long, something I've wanted to do. Obviously, it's super hard to build. There's like multiple, and I put it in that blog post, like multiple layers of complexity to make it even work, which is why it took so long. But now we've got it. Now it works. And now if you make blog posts, you get paid the normal 7 day payout window, like every other Hive blog post. But over a long period of time, like, say over 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, you could be earning monthly paychecks for each of your blog posts if they get over 200 views a month. Um, so it's really critical, I think, that we kind of kickstart as another flywheel, this change in mentality around blog posts. Like, you're gonna get your seven, and most of us also know that, with trails and voters and the way that Hive works in general, you're gonna kind of get the upvotes you're gonna get. You probably know that, like, you have a pretty consistent dollar value on your posts for the upvote rewards pool. So get your rewards pool, but also make your content friendly for the long term to get views from the outside. So, like, views on X, views on Reddit, views on Google. Like, if you make your content in a way that is friendly to the outside world, you're going to get the normal payout window like you've always gotten. But now you're also going to get the potential of a payout every single month forever, as long as that blog post lives, which is forever. Um, you'll get a payout every single month, and it's just extra rewards. And I've put out the example that I think at some point, someday, there's going to be a creator that has 1,000 blog posts, because they post 1 to 3 times a day, and then over the years, they have 1,000 blog posts, and they get like hundreds of thousands of views across all those blog posts every single month. And over a long period of time, they just continue to collect revenue every single month. And then they could, I mean, potentially retire or keep making content. Like, I think it's going to be really interesting when we have the first creator that has a ton of rewards flowing in every single month from the Evergreen contract. And I'm seeing questions about Leo Shorts. There's no update on it right now. We're working on it though. We're having issues with the connection with it. So if you guys know what we're trying to do, then you'll understand that. But we're trying to use another platform to have the videos hosted. Addicted said, I have an important question. 200 page views minimum is a lot for a little known platform. I'm a top creator and my posts have 50 views. Um, I don't know that the limit will be reduced. If you look at any other platform, 200 views is basically nothing. Um, so I'm not sure that it will get reduced.
Wow.
And I'm not sure that it should.
Um,
I think that people should just step it up and promote their content better.
no, it doesn't need to get reduced because at some point 200 is going to be too low.
Right.
We're not
Yeah, I
there yet,
actually think it could
obviously.
get increased over time.
Yeah, well, it probably should get increased over time. Because ideally, there's a point where 200 page views is nothing. That's the goal. And on the flip side, I'm surprised that I actually have earned anything because shit, I think any of my posts are getting 200 page views. So, but I will say
Well,
this,
there's two payouts. There's one based on your Leo stake, and there's one based on your views.
Got you. All right. So mine's probably just more stake based. Um, I will say this though, like last week I went to write a post on Tesla, and I'm not gonna lie, like I went more generic SEO, mainstream type of title and even some content to make it more SEO friendly, make it more larger general audience just for your like average Tesla stock person or whatever than I normally would. Um, so there is quote unquote a net effect.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, and I'm seeing a lot of people say, this 200 threshold is too high. Like M Coins just said, how many blog posts actually make it above that threshold? Yeah, and Sunseeker said it was already reduced. I remember the threshold was supposed to be higher on the first conversations. Yeah, the threshold was actually originally 1,000 views, and then I reduced it to 200. So it's already been reduced pretty significantly, and I think we will raise it back to 1,000 at some point in the future when the platform's bigger. But one thing about what Addicted said, being a little known platform, that also defeats the purpose because we're not looking to pay people for getting views within what we already have. So like, if INLEO was a bigger platform, yeah, everyone would be getting more views just generally because there's more people on the platform. But the goal of Evergreen Rewards is to grow the platform. It's to get you guys to start creating content that is outward facing. So like I've made blog posts about like Thorchain and stuff, shared it on Twitter and gotten, 3,000 views in a month. And the reason why that worked is because the Thorchain community was, saw that blog post like, oh, this is relevant to me, clicked on it and read it. But most blog posts on the Hive blockchain are somewhat related to Hive in some form or fashion. So obviously they don't get many views because only people within Hive actually care about that topic. So, when you look at the top viewed articles, and all of this data is open source for you guys to look at on the Simple Analytics link. So if you go to simpleanalytics.com/inleo.io, you can find all the data on all the pages and how many views they're getting. And when you look at the blog posts that are getting the most views, I think like 3 of them are from Forex Broker, and they are like completely outward facing. Don't mention Hive, don't mention Leo in any sort of form or fashion. They're about, like a currency, or they're about like finding the best altcoin in 2023 or 2024. And those are the blog posts getting the most views. So again, I feel like a lot of people want to look for a way, how do I do the bare minimum and get paid versus how do I take the idea of this, which is let me create an outward facing blog post that gets views and push it and get views on it. So
What was
I
it?
think it's just
I'm sorry. It's simple. I forgot. It's been so long. It's simple analytics.io or
simpleanalytics.com/inleo.io.
dot
I'll
com.
drop the link in the threadcast too. And ultimately, like, and this is what I've been continually talking about. It's about closing this incentive loop. It's about making everything loop together, because when the platform gets more views, through all of your guys, like imagine that all, 1,600 monthly active users start really focusing on making evergreen content, and the views just shoot through the roof because everyone's aiming to get 200 or more views every single month. If that starts to happen, imagine the growth of the platform from people, just stumbling on your post, being like, oh, what's this platform about? Signing up, getting started, becoming a user. Now there's more views out, more potential views within the platform. So you've helped yourself in that way. There's also more potential people to own Leo, buy Leo, upvote content, become a premium user. Like it benefits the whole platform. It closes the incentive loop. So I think this is just it's like a mental unlock that people have to make, which is like, how do I, actually do good things rather than how do I do the bare minimum and get paid? Because that is the mentality we've been, raised with on Hive, and so to speak. Like, it's just how do we do the bare minimum? So I we've really just changed that whole loop of like, stop thinking about how you can do the bare minimum. And if you want to do the bare minimum, that's fine, but don't expect to get the rewards that other people are going to get. Like, you know, don't expect to write the same old blogs to get 40 views and ask us to reduce the page views so that you can get paid versus, make high quality posts that get 200 views.
So how deep does the simple analytics website go? Is it like, can you drill it down to like literally a blog page, a blog post page?
Yeah. So go,
I'm looking for
I just dropped the link, but if you go there and then you look under pages, you'll see the top viewed pages are like the main pages, obviously like the feeds and stuff where most of us spend
Do I
our
have to
time.
log in to do any of this or no?
No.
All right, cool.
Um,
Yeah, so
so
I
you're
see
looking at the
pages.
page,
Yeah.
right? And then you see
Well, I'm
referrals,
on the main
pages,
thing. I'm on
devices.
INLEO.io. So if I can hit on one of the pages, yeah.
No, wait, you're on simpleanalytics.com/inleo.io
Correct.
and you see a big chart.
Yeah, I see the main
And
chart.
below that, you see referrals,
Yeah,
pages,
referrals
devices,
pages.
countries.
Yep, yep,
So under pages, there's arrows at the bottom,
yep,
and you can see more pages. So if you
yep.
go if you go to page two,
Profile,
you can
yeah.
see, like I just said, Forex broker. You see he's got 700. So all the people that said it's impossible to get 200 page views, Forex broker has 781 page views on this blog post. And you can click, if you hover over it and then click the arrow. So if you hover over it and you click the hyperlink, it'll open Simple Analytics to his
Gotcha.
specific page. And if you click the arrow, it'll actually take you to the blog post on INLEO. So you can see the blog post. It was written 3 years
Look at
ago.
that. One alpha's up in there. His
Yeah.
profile.
So it was written 3 years ago, and it's got 800 page views just this month. And I think it averages somewhere between like 300 and 1,500 page views like literally every single month, like clockwork. So he is one of the few authors that actually gets paid any evergreen rewards. There's not many of them. Um, and like I said, it's if you look at this blog post, it's high quality. It has a good SEO title. If you ask, and I've actually done this, if you ask AI to analyze the post for SEO quality, it comes back very high quality for SEO. Just the formatting, the titles, the text, and the images. So it's like I said, if you want to make bigger rewards and you got to put in the effort. And Forex
Yeah.
Broker has put in the effort.
There's some randoms up. Like, I mean, heck, look, Simi Smith's got one up there, 679. I don't even know who Eric Bergeryon is. I don't even know who that is. And they got a big one. That's actually a profile, not even an
Yeah, so the
article.
profiles won't count. You got to look at blog posts.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of surprisingly, there's people getting decent views on the profiles, but
Yeah, well, that's mostly people looking at their own profile.
probably,
Like
yeah.
if you look at your blog posts and threads to see how
True,
many
true,
rewards you
true. I didn't
get.
think about that. What,
Um,
okay, so, but this is, I can only look at what basically this is providing, though. I can't, like, if I wanted to go, like, to a specific blog post of mine, let's say, or someone else's.
yeah, you could just go to the URL, put it in. So like go to click on one of these blog posts, right?
Yep,
And then
yep.
you'll
So,
see that
yeah.
it goes simpleanalytics.com/inleo.io slash at
Yep.
Tobatita, whatever. So all you have to do is change that URL to the URL of your post. If you look at the URL closely, it's simpleanalytics.com slash, and then it's the exact URL as it appears on INLEO. You see what I'm saying? So you would
Yeah.
just replace that with your blog post, and then you can
Yeah.
see. Or if you just go to inleo.io on the blog post, we've actually integrated Simple Analytics. So like I'm on Forex Brokers, you can see that it has 785 views directly on the INLEO UI. So you don't even have to leave the UI to see the specific views on a specific post.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. And there's, you know,
Thread. I even see there's a thread up there. I see.
yeah, some threads get some good views. I think we're going to end up adding threads to the views, to the evergreen rewards as well. But obviously they don't really fit with Evergreen that much. That's why they weren't originally there. But I do think as Threads grows, it'll make more and more sense.
Interesting. This is
Yeah,
weird.
Taskmaster, we're working on it. I'm talking to Simple Analytics because they have to actually add something for that. There's nothing I can do. They have to add it to their API.
Well, yeah, I'll play with the site more. I'm not having some issues, but I understand how it works.
Yeah, I mean, if you play with it for a little bit, it starts to make a lot of sense. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's literally their URL, and then after the slash, you can put any URL from INLEO, and it'll give you the data on it. So, um, but yeah, when you look at these top blog posts, like I'm looking at another one that is going to make it for the Evergreen Awards, by Toby Tata, written 2 years ago. Crypto analysis update on the moon cycle dash Bitcoin connection. And like I said, you can tell it's very different than the typical Hivers post. And there's a reason why it's getting a lot of views. Like this month, it's got 400 views. So, you know, it's like I said, if you put in the effort, you will get rewarded. But if you just want to skate by and do the bare minimum, I don't think you should be expecting a ton of rewards coming your way. There's actually a pretty solid amount of blog posts that are above the line. I mean, it's in the realm of like 10 posts, just scanning this really quickly. Ironically, the Leo Finance ad revenue update post is in the Evergreen. It's above the Evergreen bar to get rewarded. It's got 356 views. But you can see that even an inward facing post can make it above the bar. Yeah, Sunseeker, you're right. Taskmaster has created some interesting use cases on Threads for long-term views like music on Leo and stuff. So yeah, I think it's definitely a factor for adding it to the Evergreen. I got to look into how exactly we're going to do that, but I will make it happen. And then the new dashboard is really cool because it taps into Simple Analytics and it'll help you actually look at your. So like right now, we're all going to Simple Analytics to look at our page views. But in the near future, and the dashboard's actually all built, we're just hooking up some final pieces of data. You'll actually be able to see like your current, kind of like on, if you guys have ever used Twitter's profile analytics, like you can see page views and stuff like that. We're working on that for the dashboard. So you'll be able to see like how many views did your threads get this month? How many views did your blog post get this month? What was your top viewed thread? What was your top viewed blog post? So there's and like impressions for the month. Like there's some really cool data that's coming. And then we're also going to connect it to the LeoAds contract where you'll be able to see your estimated LeoAds earnings for the month. And then you'll be able to see how to potentially increase that. Oh yeah, here, Addicted just dropped. So he searched your
Man,
username.
oh, there you go. Search function. Addicted's already using this thing better than I did. I kind of like gave up to an extent. Like I did a direct URL, but that's funny. This is the cat's best post this month, which is funny because I posted that years ago. That's the Wheel of Fortune clip with the Bitcoin is the future.
This is what I'm saying. Like we've been taught on Hive to look at blog posts in a 7-day window, but the blog posts that get the most views are from like 2 or 3 years ago. So it's, you have to make different blog posts that are outward facing and over time, look at what works best and figure those, like it's a totally different game that people have to learn.
Damn, 18 views. Watch out now. I'm crushing it. But it's funny because it's 18 views on a post, like 18 views this month on a post from 2 years ago.
Right.
But that was like, and it was basically just like a comedy post.
Yeah, well, like I said, look at this post from, I'll drop the link. Look at this post from Forex Broker from 3 years ago with almost 800 views. We'll probably push them to 800 views after sharing it here. Yeah, Tasha said, give me another year and see what happens. I mean, you got to remember that we've been all creating blog posts that are inward facing the Hive. Like there's been no incentive for us to create blog posts that 3 years from now get a ton of views. So, some people have done it on their own, like Forex Broker, just because, and I know he's talked about it because he knows that it benefits the platform to have evergreen content. But now there's an actual incentive there to do it. So,
Well, apparently Google believes that I'm going to get rich off of ad revenue because now it just gave me an ad for a jet airplane membership thing,
we're gonna get LeoJet.
private jet membership.
Yeah, IDK Samad said, I see search engine can all of a sudden bring a post to trending from 2 years ago. It's pretty insane if we think that posts we're writing today will bring results after a year or two. Yeah, like, it's like I keep saying, it's a total mental shift in blogging. And this is how most bloggers actually think, like people who have their own, blogging platforms. Like you look at people like Tim Ferriss, like some of the original bloggers, they wrote stuff knowing that it might not get any traction the day they write it or even for the first year, but 10 years later some of their blog posts become their top performing blog posts. I actually know that Tim Ferriss has said that on his podcast before, that some blog posts that he wrote that are 8 to 10 years old are getting like 90% of the views that his whole website gets, and they're blog posts that are 10 years old. So it's like, it's about writing varied content that is relevant to people now and in the future, about like topics that have nothing to do with Hive or Leo. It's, for example, I've written a lot of blog posts about Thorchain, and if Thorchain continues to grow, continues to get traction, people may look up, what is rune deterministic value, and they'll likely find my blog post on it. So that could be 3 years from now that somebody searches that and then they come to my blog post. So views are not a linear thing in the way that we're used to on Hive.
Nope. Ha! I like Sunseeker's question. Can premium come with a ride on the Cybertruck? I like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the area.
Which, speaking of being on this, I was like, oh crap, when's my premium expire? And apparently it expires in a day and a half. I think I have like 3 liquid HBD, so hopefully I have a couple post payouts coming in the next 24, 48 hours. This feels like my real life. Liquidity, always the problem.
Yeah, and I noticed that Addicted is not premium. So when premium Addicted,
What?
when 1 out of 1,000, we're trying to get to 1,000.
Oh my God. I just upvoted like all his comments. I'm about to go retract.
Yeah, and you earn more upvotes on your posts if you're premium. So I know Addicted is the heavy hitter writer around here. So when premium.
When premium for addicted. Apparently he's not addicted to premium. Yes. Use the earnings from my votes to pay for the premium.
Yeah, Nifty, it should get applied. It should get applied like after the count. It actually should just add it to your countdown. But if you have any issues with it, just let me know. I actually don't, you might be the first person that's done that. So
I paid early.
paid early, yeah. So just let me know. If it gives you any trouble, just let me know.
What do we got? Morty asked, is the post scheduling working reliably now?
Honestly, I haven't used it in a while. We are working on blog posts right now though, so I would say give it like a week. We're we're making a lot of changes to the publishing UI in general. You guys have already seen some of the changes we pushed. But for example, like we're working on this issue with beneficiaries, and the UI kicking back errors. So I would say give it like a week. We're working on on the scheduler and all the different features. But the drafts are working really well. Speaking of drafts, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we added a feature that has already saved me several times on threads, where if you're typing a thread and you accidentally click to another page, if you come back to the homepage, you don't lose your thread. Like if you start typing and haven't finished creating it, if you leave the page and come back, it's still there. So it's really nice because sometimes I'm like writing a thread, then I accidentally click another thread or I accidentally click, a different page on the UI. And then before you would lose that thread, but now if you come back, it's still there. Um, Kind of a nice little UX thing. Taskmaster said, here's the top Leo glossary post, 215 views. Yeah, and that's another good point. Whether it's Leo glossary or even other blog posts you've made, and I try to do this again, I'll use the Thorchain example. All the blog posts I write about Thorchain, I actually have a note file with the link to all the other Thorchain blog posts I've ever made, and I try to hyperlink them in throughout my blog post. And that, you can imagine create like a huge tree of blog posts that are all connected together. So, maybe you get a view on maybe someone stumbles on your Thorchain post on Google. They come into that blog post, they read the post, and then throughout the post it says, learn more about the black hole theory on Thorchain. And they're like, oh, what's that? Click it. And now you got a view on another one of your articles, and they're all kind of linked together. So Leo Glossary is a great example of that as well, where, if thousands of us are making blog posts and using Leo Glossary to link words and key terms in that blog post, people click on them. That's another view for the UI, another view for the blogger. Keep in mind that the reward split on evergreen content is 80-20. So the author of that content gets 80% of the ad revenue, and then the other 20% goes to all the Leo Power holders for the Leo Power ads pool. So it ultimately benefits everybody, for everybody to be working together and putting in the effort to have more evergreen content. So it's like I said, all of these ideas are to close the incentive loop, to say what is the best outcome for the platform and how do we incentivize users to do that outcome in a very selfish way. Like if you selfishly want to get the most rewards, then you're automatically going to do things that benefit the platform. So
Interesting. Is that so? Simi Smith asked, I hope that threads get counted for Leo ad revenue. I have a lot of threads getting better views. I don't think it is. I think it's just long form, right? For the Leo
right
ad.
now it's long form, but I have been looking recently into adding it for threads. It just from a theory standpoint, before things went live, it just didn't make a lot of sense because threads are more like a short-term thing. It's not really like
Yep.
an evergreen idea.
Yep.
But a lot of users like Taskmaster have started to do kind of interesting things with music on Leo and other things. So I do think it makes more sense now than it did before to add threads to the evergreen contract. So I'm gonna continue doing some more research on how to integrate that.
Interesting. Addicted said, I just noted that Cat's 2-year-old post has correctly embedded YouTube video, but my recent posts do not. Is there something special we need to do to get the embed working? I'm gonna check my recent posts though, because I think mine are. Because well, those are threads though. But I mean, I just always go to YouTube, hit share, hit embed,
Yeah.
copy that, dump it in, and that's always
Yeah, I mean
worked.
mine don't have a problem. Addicted, do you have any examples?
Exactly.
Because we were actually having an issue with YouTube embeds, but we fixed it like in the last couple days. So I'm curious
Hashtag
if you have
feedback.
more, if you have any examples, let me know because I'm curious.
Yeah, post it with hashtag feedback.
More tea, yeah. I mentioned a couple days, I think on Friday when I know Medsel and I did a pod that we're working on that, the yearly subscription option. Mr. Hive, if you can create a thread with hashtag feedback and give any steps to reproduce any issues you're having, that would help us fix them.
Well, His thread is showing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I saw your thread fine. So he's just saying he's having issues getting them to show. But
That happens.
um,
I mean, I get that sometimes where there's a hefty delay randomly. What is the auto
I
subscribe?
also, oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we've talked about that before. I don't think the like auto renewal on premium, I don't think that's something that's on the table right now.
Not auto renewal, but we are gonna do the 6 month and 1 year subscription options. Sunseeker, it only on threads that does it need the embedding code, but the blog posts you should be able to do with just a link because links obviously don't show up on threads.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I did on my long forms. I think on my long forms I probably just did the link, and as long as I saw the video pop up, I don't think I did the embed. The embed is only on the
I
threads.
usually don't, and my blog posts show up
Yeah,
fine.
no, that's actually now that I think about it, because I was just thinking about what I've done recently with my threads, because I did a bunch of music on Leo threads, and that you do the embed. But yeah, on my long form, I think it's always just been the link, and as long as I see the video, because sometimes it wouldn't work or the video wouldn't pop up, but if it popped up, then I would move forward, and that seemed to be no problem. No,
Addicted, I
just
just
tested it
dropped
in
a
the
link.
threadcast.
I just dropped a link in the threadcast because I told you yesterday in Discord about a good way to look at views. So this link will actually let you look at the views that a user's threads have gotten, total views that a user's threads have gotten since, and you can modify the URL to put your username in, just replace mine with yours. And then you can choose the start date. So right now it's set at January 1st, 2024. But you can see all of my threads over the past month have gotten 1,650 views. So there's a lot. If you start really diving into simple analytics, there's actually a lot of stuff you can do with it. Sunseeker, if you could put that into a thread and put hashtag feedback with like a screenshot of what you're talking about, I'll look into it. But I personally put the links and don't have issues.
I clicked on that link that you shared. Is this supposed to be like just raw data, or is it actually supposed to be like
Yeah,
a
it's raw data from
okay?
their API. If you look like 5 paragraphs down the page, you'll see page views. Or if you search on your
Yeah, I
browser
see
for
it.
page
I
views,
see it. Yeah.
you see 1645. So that is the total number of page views that my threads have gotten since January 1st. And if you want to look at yours, just replace my username,
Already doing it.
yeah, with yours. And then give it a second. So your threads have
I'm
gotten 30.
crushing it with my whopping 30 page views.
You got to get more active.
Well, I don't thread it,
Taskmaster
honestly.
has me beat, I think.
Oh, he's got it. I don't thread like literally the majority of my threads are when I go on a music on Leo kick. Outside of that, I thread still less than I long form blog post. Like I'll long form, and I haven't been doing it every day, but I'll long form once a day before I'm even threading once a day. I haven't been great about the threads. I'm still staying too old school, but I thread here and there.
Well, if blog posts are written correctly, they're going to get a lot more views than threads.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, a lot of my threads just don't.
Forex Broker is a good representation of that. But yeah, I just looked at Taskmaster. He's got 4,238 views since January 1st. So anyone who says it's hard to get 200 views on Leo clearly hasn't seen that.
Well, I had one thread that had 14 page views. That's half my page views are from one fucking thread. I got a ton of zeros. It looks like all the music on Leo ones have 0, 0, 0, 0 because I'm looking at like the dates. It's funny. Actually, no. I mean, I stand corrected. This is going from earliest to no. My music on Leo actually does have some views. Cool.
IDK Samad said something earlier that I wanted to touch on at the beginning of the um, AMA. He said he shared a screenshot where he was on the Labs UI on mobile, and it said install INLEO as an app on your phone. So yeah, we actually have been secretly working on something. It's not working correctly, so I wouldn't recommend doing it yet. Um, but we're doing this update, which essentially turns the mobile UI into a mobile app that you can install on your phone. Um, so it is a kind of like a proxy app where you can download it outside of the App Store. Because as you guys know, I'm not a huge fan of app stores, especially the iOS App Store. I'm not a huge fan of the idea that we spend, a couple hundred grand and a bunch of months of time building a mobile app, put it in the App Store, and then have it removed. So that's not what I'd like to do. So what we are doing is making it so that you can download the InLeo app directly from your browser. And it'll work like any other app. So that is coming soon. You'll kind of see it if you go on Labs. You'll see it. You'll see it, but um, it's it's not working correctly. So definitely wait till we make the official announcement. Ahmad Manga shared a screenshot of his 3-speak videos. Yeah, I mean, getting views is not easy. It takes
No.
work, it takes real
Well,
effort. But if you do it right,
yeah. Mr. Hyde made a good point too. He said, I think the right tagging would increase views too. And I feel that because honestly, when I thread, I half the time forget to even put a tag, but I've gotten better with that. And then like the ones that make sense from my diary, when I tag those seem to actually get views and a lot of comments. So, in fact, I did a thread kind of poking at people's threads overall and tagged it in my diary, and I think I got like 7 comments. But same thing, even when I do like the Bitcoin threads, I forget to put like crypto or Bitcoin as the tag. I'm
yeah.
fine with long form. I forget half the time with the threads.
Yeah, I would say one of the best ways to get more views is to make something that is obviously a high quality blog post that is SEO friendly. So I'd say that's step one. Step two is make something that's relevant specifically to some kind of community. I would say it is a great way to get some low hanging fruit. Like I said with Thorchain, it's really easy for me to make a blog post, share it on X, and then have 1,000 or 3,000 people click on it because it's relevant to all of them. Um, so those are like two little hacks. And then another one is just to share it on different platforms, share it on Reddit, share it on X, um, you know, maybe even share it on like Medium, other platforms. Um, there's a lot of ways to generate views on your content, but like I said, and I'll keep saying it because I think people really need it hammered into their brains. It's a very different um, approach to using Hive for blogging than what we're all of us are used to. Um, it's very different. So we're all used to just focusing on getting the 7-day payout window. It takes a very different mindset to focus on getting paid in perpetuity for a blog post that's relevant, in the future and generates views from Google and X and other platforms. It's a completely different ball game. And I think there's going to be some people that really learn how to play that game and do it well. Like I said, Forex Broker is a great example with his blog posts that are going to be earning him money. He's already earning money every single month from blog posts he wrote 2 or 3 years ago. So it's it's doable. It's possible. It takes real effort. So if you don't care to put that effort in, then you're not going to get evergreen rewards, and that's fine. You don't have. Nobody said that you have to get them, but if you want them, put in the effort. I'm going to start writing a lot more blog posts and really focus on, um, I'm going to really focus on how I can grow my views every single month. And once that dashboard's live, I think it's going to become a really fun point of gamification where it's like, okay, I got, 1,500 total views last month on my threads and my blog posts. Here's my top performing blog post. Here's how much I earned in ad revenue. The dashboard will show all that information and it'll show what you got last month. And it'll be like, all right, well, how do I double that this month? And then you can make real kind of efforts to do so, and you'll see it in real time kind of playing out. So I think it's going to be exciting. I'm really excited about focusing on views. We've all grown. I always say like grown up, but like our Hive journey, we've all grown up focused on, how many upvotes did my post get, 2 days ago versus, how many total views did my account get, in the past, 30 days? How many total views did my account get in the past 12 months? So it's a whole new game that's going to be played out on Hive through INLEO, and I'm really excited for it. I think it's a lot more interesting to go after views than just go after upvotes. Going after upvotes, and we all know this, is super frustrating. Like you'll make a really good blog post and it'll get like $3 in upvotes, and then you'll make like a random blog post and it'll get $30 in upvotes. Like there's no real rhyme or reason to it. And I find that really frustrating. I like when I can like work towards something that's kind of clear, like a clear outcome. And views, in my opinion, is a very clear outcome. It's like you make a high quality blog post, you share it in the right places, you make it SEO friendly, you have some good images, good writing, good copy, and it gets good views, and then you get paid for that. And I think that's really exciting.
Indeed. What's exciting is we've been going for a good hour now, so whatever questions people have, get them in now or forever hold your peace to next week.
Yep.
Because we're
Let's hear
going
the
to
questions.
wrap up momentarily.
All of the questions. Let's hear them.
What did I miss? You missed a whole bunch.
Yeah, a lot of updates, but the recordings will
Marty.
all be live.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. We need all the threads to look like the Threadcast. The Threadcast has generated approximately 3.07 Leo in LeoAds revenue. Sweet.
John Golson said, new emphasis has to be made on treating this like a business for creating content. Long-term approach, good use of tags, SEO optimization, whole package now. I like it. Yeah, exactly. It's, it's a different ball game. And I think, like I said, I think there's going to be some people out there that really learn how to play the game well, and they're going to be kind of leaders of the pack. And, people are going to look at them and say, how is this guy earning $1,000 a month from Evergreen Rewards and I'm earning $1 a month? And, once that happens, I think a lot of people are going to fall in line and start figuring it out.
Yeah. In fact, I got a great idea for a post with awesome SEO that's going to get plenty of activity until next September. It's called Wide Right. Sorry, John.
Wide right.
Sorry, John. Sorry. Too soon? Too soon? I love it. I love that I just somehow threw an inside joke that's not an inside joke.
Yeah, John said huge opportunity for Lions to step up. Absolutely. Huge opportunity. There's going to be a few Lions, I think, who step up and make a name for themselves as the top evergreen earners. Hey, you hit a sore spot for him, I think.
Yep.
CPOL said, I have a question. I'm worried to make something SEO friendly because I don't want to be targeted as spun text or AI generated. How can we solve it? Well, being SEO friendly doesn't mean that you look AI generated or spun text. There's simple practices to SEO. And again, I'll drop this link again to Forex Broker's post. In no way does it look AI generated. It's very like human readable. Like it's not, the way that it's SEO friendly is more so in the title, the meta titles, the images. He does a lot with like alt image text. So there's like little tricks that he's got in that blog post. And then just generally, if you look at the title of that post, it's something that a lot of people would search for. People are looking for, is it alt season? Are altcoins going to moon? What's going on with the altcoin index? Like, he's got good keywords in there that ultimately get views from the outside world. So being SEO friendly is not the same as being, AI generated or looking like AI. But a great tool, and I've used this as well, is putting a blog post through like ChatGPT and saying, give me some pointers on how I can make this more SEO friendly. And it will tell you, add these keywords, change your title to this, and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that it writes your blog post or even rewrites your blog post. It just, might throw in some extra keywords and change your title around. So yeah, Sunseeker said SEO optimized content doesn't look like AI. The tools don't detect it like that either. Yeah, it's if you use AI to write your content, then it looks like AI content. But if you use AI to enhance your content, then it doesn't look like AI, as long as you actually wrote it and then you just use it to, like I said, enhance, not write. Cool guy said thread's not loading for me. I see your thread. Maybe try refreshing.
I also see your threads.
Self-help for trolls said INLEO loads way faster on Brave right now. Awesome work. Yeah, we actually, the past couple of days we've been working on reducing the package size for INLEO. So that is essentially what that means is when you load the UI, there's a certain amount of data that you have to load initially, like an initial load to like load everything. And we have been reducing that package size. So I think it was like 14 megabytes a couple days ago, and now we've got it down to 3. So we've been working on overall optimization and performance improvements while we also work on fixing a lot of bugs. So you guys probably aren't going to see that many new features over the next couple of weeks, maybe the next like 1 to 2 months. There's probably not going to be a ton of new features. The big new one, and I this is part of the reason why I planned it this way. We're going to have that user dashboard come out. So that's going to be like a huge new, it's going to be like a whole new page on the UI and a lot of features that you can dive into within it. So we're going to release that and give you guys that to play with for a while. And then there's probably going to be like a 1 to 2 month lull in the number of new features. And we're going to be focused on performance and bug fixes. So those are going to take a front seat, and we're going to really hammer down, and we're going to refactor some of the code and make it very solid. So we've kind of built like a lot of, and I was talking to the devs about this, like we've done a really good job adding all these amazing features to the UI, and now it's time to kind of consolidate and focus on user experience and UI performance. And we'll spend 1 to 2 months doing that, and then we'll get back to new features, and we'll just kind of keep going back and forth like that to make sure that our foundation is really solid, but that we also are able to push out really good features.
Cool. Onward and upward. And when bull market to make it all that much better.
Bull market makes everything better.
It does. We'll see.
Yeah. My goal is to get premiums to 1,000 subscribers and grow Leo ad revenue before we get to the bull market, so that we can soak up a bunch of this cheap Leo while it remains cheap at about 5 cents. So the goal is to soak it up before the bull market, and I think we're going to achieve it. So if you guys have any friends that use INLEO that aren't premium, hint hint addicted, go get them to go premium as
Peer
we aim for
pressure,
1,000.
bro.
We got 200 down, 800 to go to get to 1,000. And I literally pester Eric. Eric will tell you I pester him on a daily basis about how we're doing and
Ooh,
how
over
we can improve.
200.
So
This
200
one isn't. Well, maybe it was high 180s because One Alpha posts the thing once in a while with like the premium members.
Well, I think he looks at the total unique accounts that have ever been premium.
Ah,
I look at the current number
running,
of
yeah. So
total
obviously running
premiums.
total and which yeah, because like in theory, I might actually drop off for a day because mine expires in a day and a half, and it looks like I have like 2 days till I have
Correct.
enough payouts in HBD. So like I might actually be like inactive for like a half day or a day.
Right. So then the premium count will go from, you know, provided nothing else changes, it'll go from
Yeah,
200 to 199
yeah,
until you resubscribe. So
that makes sense.
um, I'm going to
I
share
gotta
a
I gotta
link
remember
too
to
in the
just keep
threadcast.
some little liquid HBD chilling. I'm always just putting it into savings.
Yeah, and if you are premium and you make at least, we've talked about making at least like 1 to 4 blog posts per month. So like, you know, 1 a week would be ideal. And that's like the minimum. Obviously, you could do like 2 a day if you wanted to. You will make plenty from the Leo.voter upvotes to resubscribe every single month. You'll make
Yeah.
plenty of HBD. So that's one of the flywheel things that we've been working on. I just dropped a link. And if you go, this is a new page that we added recently. If you go to the premium page, you'll see like premium list, premium users list. There's like a button there. I also just dropped a link in the threadcast, but now you can actually see a full list of all the current premium
I look.
subscribers. Yeah. And it'll tell you at the top how many total we have. So you can track it. We got 200
Oh yeah, we
now.
literally have exactly 200.
Yeah. So
That's
we're at
cool.
200 and you'll see us trend up. I'm really pushing to get to 250, 350, and then obviously 1,000 by the end of March. So it's gonna be a lot of work. You're gonna see the team grinding on this and you're gonna get annoyed by how much we talk about premium, but we're gonna make this happen and I think it's gonna have a really positive effect on Leo.
Well, grow the user base, grow the premium subscriber amount. I'm sure, some kind of
100%.
ratio that's gonna continue to move up together. So cool, good stuff. Well, it is the end of January already, 2024,
Yeah.
already starting to disappear. So
It's going
February
by
6th is next Tuesday. So most likely we will see you then.
100%.
And if not, then the week after, because you never know. Cat and
Never know in
cow
this
are
universe.
wild cards when it comes to the AMA.
um
Magic Man. Now you see him. Now you don't.
Yeah, Sunseeker said, "Can we have when new feet?" That is the story of my life. I'm like, we're consolidating and focusing on bug fixes and improvements. When new feature? Soon. That's my official answer.
I'm fine with all the features we have now. Let's get them all streamlined and bug free.
Yeah, exactly. Streamline is the focus. The next, you're going to get one new feature, and it's a big one. Like I said, user dashboard, and then you're going to have a little lull in new features. It's going to be mostly bug improvements and just improving the UI in general. And you're going to get that for like 4 to 8 weeks, and then we'll be back to shiny new things after that. But in my opinion, having the UI, like we have so many great features now. I just want the UI to work like flawlessly every time you open it. So that's going to be the focus.
Yes,
Um,
that would be my
and
favorite
Task
thing.
also said when
Things.
polls, that is a part of the bug fixes.
Polls.
Yeah, getting polls working again.
Oh, I didn't even realize they were gone. In fact, I probably
Yeah,
didn't realize. I probably didn't realize because it was probably in my mind a win. Some of those, like the polls, were getting stupid.
yeah. Some of the polls were stupid.
Let's
Um,
uh let's not be ridiculous with the polls, people, when they come back. Let's actually use them. Use them for something useful.
I'll look at Addicted. He subscribed to premium.
There you go. The peer pressure.
He's our 201st premium subscriber. I just refreshed the page and I see his check mark.
Look at that.
Look at him
The
go.
peer pressure was real.
Love to see it. You really love to see
Good
it.
job.
Make sure you make a blog post so you get a juicy upvote.
There you go. Cool. Well, that's a good way to end the call.
Yeah,
201 winning.
absolutely. And then
All
also,
right.
final thing before we jump off, Taskmaster just posted a link to the threadcast for the Cryptomaniacs show. It's at 3 p.m. Eastern. So jump into that. I'll be jumping over to that threadcast in about an
I
hour and
might
a
be
half.
around for that. If I'm not, it's because I'm at the gym, but otherwise, I might be around for that.
Sweet, sweet. We will see you guys next Tuesday. Um, that's all I got.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, until then, I'm just going to dream about Bitcoin going to 50K.
Me too.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right, see ya.